Great. Okay. Share screen. Wave at me if you can see my screen. I want to be sure you're seeing my screen. Can you see my screen? Just wave at me. Okay, so my screen is, all right. So I am sure that you can. Okay, you will need to mute your microphone so that you could hear me. Someone's microphone is not muted. So you have to mute your microphone so that you can hear me. And I have already shared my screen and I want to be sure you are already viewing my screen. All right, so we want to begin right away. Now, so this is going to be an interactive session. It's focused on discussing about social research survey. So my name is Edo Peter and I am for Development Education and Community Service, Fort Springs Consulting Limited. Fort Springs Consulting is a human capital development firm, and our focus is to support young people to be able to build capacity to connect 21st century jobs. All right, so I'm going to begin right away, and this is what I want to start with. Now, for any job that you aim at, there is a question that you need to answer. And this is the question. What new skill set are you bringing on that job? Actually, there is a time to ask this question, and there could be the right time and there could be the wrong time. The wrong time is when you're going for an interview or when you decide to apply for a job. That's the wrong time to ask yourself this question. And actually, the right time to ask yourself this question is now, because you're going to need time to build the skill. And this is not a question you should wait for anyone to ask you. It is a question that you will have to ask yourself. So don't wait for anyone to pose this question to you. This is not the question you begin to attempt to answer when you are facing the interview panel. This is a question that you have to make up your mind and ask yourself right now. Why is it important? It's important because any job that you aim to pick, there is a question behind it. What do you have to do? Because it isn't an invitation to come and pick free money. So you will need skills to be able to exchange as your value. So the currency that you actually have at someone who is looking up to picking a job is skills. So you need to have skills because there is something you have to bring on a table. You know, for every vacancy or job vacancy you see displayed, there is a problem that exists. And so the pursuit is to look for someone who could solve the problem. So what skills do you bring on board or what do you have to offer? Now, this question is not a question within the region of knowledge. It's not a question within the region of knowledge. What that simply means is knowledge alone is not sufficient for you to be able to provide the right answer to this question, because this question is actually within the region of application of knowledge. And when we're talking about application of knowledge, we're actually talking about experience, because experience generates skills. Experience is the guarantee, the assurance that you have the requisite skills that is being sought. So what do you have to offer? Now, in my conversation with a lot of you, of course, some of you are hearing me for the very first time. I took a lot of time to talk about the global skills exposure, which of course falls within the region of knowledge. So today I'm not going to talk about knowledge. I'm going to talk more about application of knowledge. Um, so what are you bringing to the table? Now, I want you to take a look at this. And when you see this, I don't know exactly what goes on in your mind, but within the surface, what you see is NSAS protest. It's this event actually is part of our experiences as Nigerians, bitter or sweet. It's part of our experience. But what do you see when you look at those pictures? And as you look at these pictures, it reminds you of where we are coming from. All right, now I want to welcome you to the social age. So there is more to this event, there is more to these pictures that we can see. So it's simply an invitation or an acknowledgement that we have arrived the social age. Now, what do we mean by that? You see, within society, we have four groups of people. We have boys, we have girls, we have men, and we have women. And these are the populations that form society. These are the population that forms community. But there's one thing that is clear. You see, this group of people have needs, and their needs fall within categories, fall within social, emotional, economic, political, health, and education needs. But the fact I want you to realize is that, you see, the needs of these people are not the same. The social needs of boys are not the same with the social needs of girls. The needs of boys are not the same with the emotional needs of girls. The economic needs of boys, girls differ from that of women. So these groups are pushing for answers to their needs, basic answers to their needs. And that opens the door for social research, because practically we're living in a social age, and the social age is driven by social data. All right. So each of this group of people, they are demanding for their rights through provision of their needs. And so that is the age where we're living in. You can't help it, you can't stop it, but you have to provide answers to these needs. Now, the social age is not an age of trial and error, but it is an age of precision. Precision means the capacity to be able to address the right problem at the right time. And so for you to be able to take such decisions, you will need to understand the relevance of data. You will need to understand the relevance of data in development. Um, so now, if social data is important and we are driving towards meeting the needs of four groups of people, it means that every young man, every young woman will have to factor his or her career to the pursuit of the needs of this four group of people. And I want to tell you categorically that whether you're a social scientist or an engineer or a computer tech, or you read arts and languages, or you read education, sciences, or you read medicine. The jobs that are available for you in the 21st century revolve around meeting the needs of boys, girls, men, and women. Their social needs, their educational needs, their emotional needs, their health needs. And all the organizations that are driven in the 21st century depends on data. And that is why the focus to belong is for you to be able to build data gathering skills. Because if you do not have data gathering skills, or if you don't take time to build data gathering skills, what that simply means is that you have not been able to strike the relevance in the 21st century, because every organization wants to spend less and reach more. In terms of meeting consumer needs, the focus is to make informed decisions on data to be able to gain a competitive edge. So a lot of times people talk about skills, talk about problem solving skills, computer skills, communication skills, leadership skills, emotional intelligence, creativity and collaboration, and critical thinking skills. Each of these skills is relevant in the 21st century. But there is a central skill that every young man will have to take his time to build, which is social research and data gathering skill. Now, why? Because the jobs of the 21st century are needs driven. They are entirely needs driven. All right. So research is part of development that you cannot eliminate. In the university, you were being exposed to social research, much of project research. That is what they taught you in the university. And here you are in a world, in the 21st century world, where you need to understand social research because it plays critical role in development. So that is a question that you have to find a way of answering by yourself. All right. Now, I wanted to look at this area of topics because I'm about now to enter into my main discussion. Now, I want to ask you just a simple test. Look at these questions and tell me, there are two topics here that are social research topics. Let me see if you can get it right. I want you to tell me, possibly you just send your answers by telling me which numbers are social research. You could just do that briefly. So which of the answers, which numbers do you think are social research? Which out of the following falls within social research? Let me just give you a test. Which out of the following are social research? Okay. Okay, let me see your response, please. I want to type your response and let me see. Okay, probably Alpha. Okay. Now, okay, if you want to respond, you can unmute your microphone and respond. Which ones do you think are social research? Which questions are social research? Yes, yes. I'm sure you can hear me, right? So which one do you think are social research questions? I want someone to try. And so let's see how it goes. So if you want to try, you could just unmute your microphone and tell us which and which and which are social research. All right, so let me move forward. So take a look at this. So all right, so this is how it works. Now, how do you begin a social research? Now, let me go back a little. Now, so first, so you have a situation where the first thing is that you need to structure a question. You need to know how to structure a question, a research question within the context of social research. You need to know how to do that, how to structure a research question within the context of social research. Now, if you look at this, if you look at it from here, if you don't know which question really or what is the basis or the place of social research, you will not be able to know exactly which topic falls within the scope of social research. So you need to be guided to know that. You need to be guided to know which topics. So now, so we move to this now. So here I have clearly labeled the research questions. And so you could see the first one is a project research question. The second one is a social research question. The third one is project research. The fourth one is social research. And the fifth one is a project research or a seminar paper. Now, I can't begin to teach you here because the next question that should be asked is, why is a topic a social research topic and why is it not? So we can't have this conversation here, but that is actually a conversation that we hold within our community of practice. Now, okay. All right, so how do you structure a social research topic? Now, these are the steps in structuring a social research. The first thing you need to do is to identify the topic. So that requires skills to be able to identify and justify a social research topic. And what we actually say is that you will need to justify it. All right, so after you have done that, you need to design what we call analysis. That's the second step. Then after that, the next step is to design a framework. Then after that, you could upload your questions into the toolkit. Then after that, you interpret your analysis and your report. Then you could publish on a blog. So today, I'm going to take you through two stages. I'm going to take you through this stage and this stage. So I'm going to take you through how to design structured analysis and a framework. So those are the two things we're going to look at today briefly. But before I do that, I would run my slides again from the beginning. I'm going to run my slide again from the beginning. All right, so let me go over it again. So all right. Okay, so the first thing I mentioned was the fact that you need to ask yourself this question right now, because this is the opportunity you have to be able to build the right skills as you prepare for the right job. Then what do you have to offer? You need to ask yourself. Nobody's going to ask you to come up with a job and collect free money. You need to be able to build the right skills to be able to offer them an exchange. And I told you that this question is within the region of application of knowledge. And that is simply interpreted as experience. Okay, and I also said I'm not going to talk about how to build knowledge, but the focus is application of knowledge today. And I welcome you to the social research age. And the question I ask is that beyond those pictures, what do you see? Beyond these pictures, what do you see? It's simple. We are in an age that there is a pressure to meet needs. We are in an age that there is a pressure to meet the needs of men, the needs of women, the needs of boys, and the needs of girls. And it is an age of precision. It's not an age of trial and error. And so if you don't understand the operations of data, it means you cannot operate within an age of precision. Okay. So irrespective of your course, you need to prepare your mind to be able to build social research skills. If you don't do that, what that practically means is that you are not prepared for the jobs of the 21st century. Why? Because organizations want to be able to spend less and reach more, and they want to be able to make informed decisions based on data to maintain competitive edge. So it's about knowing exactly what your clients want and meeting the needs of your clients. So you need data. And so if organizations need data, that means they are going to leverage on people who are able to drive data gathering. And for you to be able to fall within that category, you need to build social research skills. All right, so we talked about skills. The central skill that is relevant is how to develop or gather social research or social data. And so we moved on along. So as it is, this is a challenge, this is a space that you have to make up your mind to develop your capacity to fill. Social data is the most relevant data in the 21st century. So you need to do something about that. And so I decided to test your ability. Of course, I know the results already. I know what it's going to be like. And so here I brought you to this threshold and I classify them. And of course, I mentioned the fact that I will not be able to teach you why a topic is social research here and why a topic is not. So I mentioned the stages. So these are the stages. So we're going to switch invitations now. So I'll take you through how to design structured analysis and how to design a framework. All right, great. Okay, so I would want us to switch invites so that we can begin on discussion on how to build up a structured analysis for a social research. So you could just go on and connect the second invite now. So thank you very much. I will catch up with you in a moment. Thank you.